Am I the AH for telling my wife she's FING wrong and that my mom is right? I, 35M, have been married to my wife, 32F, for 5 years, and we've been struggling financially for the past few months. I lost my job about 3 months ago, and while I've found part-time work, it doesn't pay nearly as much as before. We've had to cut back on a lot of things, but it feels like no matter what we do, we're still living paycheck to paycheck and even pulling from savings. Recently, my mom, 65F, came over to visit, and she noticed how stressed I was about the money situation. She offered some advice on how we could save money, things like cutting down on takeout, meal prepping to avoid buying groceries multiple times a week, and switching to cheaper brands. My mom has always been frugal, especially when she was raising me and my siblings on a tight budget. I thought it made sense, especially since we're really trying to save wherever we can. I asked if she was willing to go through our spending and show where we could cut down. My wife agreed with this. She made a whole spreadsheet about our spending, and we are spending way too much on fun stuff. We don't need Starbucks every day, and so on. It also became apparent that most of the fun spending was my wife's. TBH, my wife didn't take the breakdown well and started arguing with my mom that her spreadsheet was wrong. She said that my mom's way of doing things is outdated and doesn't work for us. She doesn't want to give up buying organic produce, and she likes having variety in what we eat each week. I tried to explain that we need to make some sacrifices if we want to get out of this financial hole, but she kept insisting that things weren't as bad as I was making them out to be and that we just needed to write it out. My mom left at this point and we were still arguing, and she told me she can't give up her takeout. She also went on about my mom being wrong. That's when I lost my patience and said, "You're FING wrong. My mom is right. She managed to raise 3 kids on one income, and we can't even cut back on groceries for a few months." My wife got really upset, saying I am being a huge jerk for whining with my mom and that my mom is outdated. She's barely spoken to me since, and now I'm wondering if I went too far. But the way I see it, we need to be realistic about our situation, and my mom's advice could actually help us get back on track. Am I the AH for throwing out my kids' food? When I was a child, my mother had no concept of what is healthy food. If it said diet on the box, it was okay. She would serve me cereal for breakfast. Dinners was often processed ready-to-eat junk or McDonald's. After school snacks was cookies and Little Debbie. My mom is obese, and I was almost 300 pounds when I graduated high school. It was only after I moved out that I realized how unhealthy I was, and it took me years to lose that childhood weight and establish good eating habits. My wife has always had them and was brought up by a family that didn't trust processed foods. My family and I now follow a whole food diet for ourselves. My mom had a heart attack and is almost 400 pounds. This is her 3rd heart attack, and she wasn't able to make rent, so now she is living with me and recovering at my home. She has been to a nutritionist multiple times for her weight and acts like she is too stupid to understand what they are saying, or acts like no one really eats like that, or the doctors and nurses are bullying her because of her weight. She has been ordering junk food and takeout on apps like Instant Cart and Uber Eats. She has been feeding my kids the same junk food, even after I have told her to stop. I hear the Ring camera go off and my youngest child gets my mom's latest McDonald's order. My mom got both of my kids a Happy Meal. This was the 3rd time she has done this week. I took my kids' Happy Meal and tossed them in the trash and poured cleaner on top of them. I told my mom if wants to eat herself to death that's okay with me, but do not kill my children like you almost killed me as a child with this trash. Things got heated because my mom was crying saying she doesn't know any better and one Happy Meal will not hurt my children. I told her this is the 3rd one this week, and if she gives my children junk again, she will find herself in a nursing home. My mom cried and cried, saying I was mean to her and all the doctors do is bully her. She just wants to live her life. I told her she's not living her best life, she's eating herself to death. My mom called me a bully and told my children I was a bully and not to act like me in school. I told my mom I'm fed up with her, and I'm looking at nursing homes later that week, and I'm not having her bring this lifestyle into my home around my children. Am I the AH for turning a wedding dress into a cosplay rather than letting my cousin have it for her wedding? I, 27F, am an avid cosplayer, my girlfriend, 28F, and I go to all conventions we can and have a lot of fun making our costumes together and prepping for the year. 3 months ago, I, my girlfriend, and my cousin, 30F, went around charity shops looking for pieces we could turn into cosplays. My cousin isn't a cosplayer, but she tagged along as she likes a good bargain hunt. In the third shop we went to, we found in the window an old-school wedding dress. It had a few stains and minor rips, but all in all was in good condition. My girlfriend and I joked with my cousin that she should buy it for her wedding, but she turned her nose up at it, stating she wanted brand new and she'd not be caught dead in an old-fashioned dress. We let it go, and my girlfriend was the one to point out to me if we did some alterations it'd be a perfect dupe for Sarah's ball gown in Jim Henson's Labyrinth, which is our favorite movie. I realized she was right and asked her if she wanted to make this our next major matching costume. She agreed. For the convention season of 2025, we will be Jareth and Sarah. I bought the dress, and my cousin made a few jokes about it, but we heard nothing back from her, not until 2 days ago. I've been posting progress of my dress on social media, and it's finally done and looks amazing. My cousin told me she'd not found a dress she likes, and I've done wonders with this dress, that she'd changed her mind and she'd be happy to meet the price I'd paid, £150, and even throw in an extra £100 for my time fixing it up. I laughed and asked if she was joking. She told me she was deadly serious, and I told her that wasn't happening. This led to a fight and I was getting annoyed. My girlfriend took the phone at this point and told her she had her chance to get the dress, and that it's a cosplay now, not a wedding dress. We've since been bombarded by my family trying to get in contact, some pleading, some trying to cajole, and others straight up berating us for not letting my cousin buy the dress, or even better yet, being a good cousin and gifting it to her, that I shouldn't turn a charity shop wedding dress into a costume as it stopped brides who really needed it having it. I'm getting stressed and upset with this, and my girlfriend is currently fielding any calls we get and telling them off for upsetting me. She's a wonder, and I am so grateful to have her with me for this. Am I the AH though? I am starting to worry because of the widespread reaction. This is the first time I bought a wedding dress to convert like this, but it was already damaged and I brought it back to life. Surely it's better than it being ignored like it was?